Huzzah! I got the achievement, Gacha Master! I don't know why you have to reset the game to get it, but you do. Let's give Vanillis, or that's not her name, let's give her a little bit more love. Oh. Yes. Yep. We should give her some time. For example, right now. And I think this is the last one. Not the worst thing. It was kind of scummy, but wasn't the worst thing that one could do. This is actually really charming. You don't have to worry about what happened in an alternate timeline because that isn't canon anymore. Don't have any more luck, do we? Then again, knocked over some plates. They are plastic, so they're fine. I do like how you have to kind of bring them all with you, one by one, to be ready for the finale stuff. Oof. Alright. I have a cat sitting on my hand. let's do this thing. This is the lowest level, according to this achievement I just got. Like, I feel like I should. Save in any slot. You couldn't hear any of that. Oh. Okay, let's go back and get the dog.
Alright.
Okay.
Last meal replacement and salad.
The last salad?
The last salad. No. The last meal replacement of the day, and also a salad. Certainly not the last salad. No, the last salad I will ever have will be in 7 days. And then never eat salad again for the rest of my life.
Oh, I see you got that ring video that I sent you.
What?
7 days?
I've never actually seen that movie, so I kind of only know it because of...
Neither have I, but I still understand.
Yeah. Yeah, you had to explain it, but, yeah.
Yeah, my explanation was 7 days. And you understood what I meant.
Well, yeah, yes.
Okay. Alright.
I guess I more specifically mean about, like, Ring video. But anyways. Yeah. No. But yeah, no, after my surgery, my plan is once I'm done, converting back to regular food, I will only eat meat from then on for the rest of my life. Buffalo wings every day.
I can't tell if you're serious or not, because I have an uncle who's on the carnivore diet, and he only says good stuff about it.
I'm mostly joking.
Mostly.
I mean, honestly, like, for the past few months, until I started on this, I was basically having, like, some buffalo wings almost every day.
I mean,
And,
I'm
like,
sure that this boost meal replacement is cheaper.
Yes. It definitely is. It's also not nearly as filling. Because, here's the thing. I used to average 1 meal a day. That being the chicken wings, and some sort of salad to go alongside it. So, yeah, I'm obviously not stopping having salad, but yeah, my average dinner was some buffalo wings and a Greek salad. A proper one that doesn't have lettuce.
Hey, I didn't put the lettuce in.
I know, I'm just telling you that, yeah.
I did not put in the lettuce.
Did I tell you a few, was it 2 or 3 months ago, my grandma insisted on taking us out to dinner at basically a cheap, like, pizza restaurant, and, well, let's just put it this way, I looked up reviews and looked at the menu and stuff ahead of time and knew, yeah, I don't want any of this pizza. And so, but I saw, they have Greek salad on the menu, but it has lettuce. So when I ordered the Greek salad, like, meal size of it, but no lettuce, the server was very surprised about that. It's just like, do you not understand that Greek salads don't have lettuce? They're not supposed to.
I mean, they do, apparently, according to these
they
two
don't.
businesses.
Any place that serves a Greek salad that by default comes with lettuce has no idea what a Greek salad is. Anyways. But, oh, and also, as sort of a side note, Greek salad can be with black olives, but it's better if it
My
comes with
dad does it.
Kalamata olives.
My dad makes it with the black olives, and just the texture just makes it seem like I'm just eating those little rubber bouncy ball things. And it's like,
Yeah, I don't like regular black olives. They're
it's just
basically
something
the
in my
rubber
brain
bouncy
says,
olives.
no, what are you doing? Don't.
Like, I know olives are definitely an acquired taste sort of thing. I think why I like Kalamata olives specifically is because they definitely sate a salt craving. And what sucks is I've got like 2 or 3 jars unopened of Kalamata olives right there, but I can't really be having them. And it sucks. Otherwise, I would absolutely be having basically the jar of it instead of salad, instead of less. Anyways, I'll be right back.
How did that? I feel like 1 not enough for this. Yeah, that's probably fine. Okay. Will it allow me to go in because Fallen is, strictly speaking, not human? I understand how I'm flying. How is Pollock flying? Anyway. Whew. Nope. Okay. I thought I was being sneaky about the game and being all like, well, hey then. It says 1 human. Why not bring the follower that's not a human? And it's not just only 1 life form, because Karen gets to come along. Mm-hmm.
Definitely too much filming. Oh well.
Okay,
So,
so
making that salad? I started having a weird debate in my mind about how to define salad. Because my default, definition is a combination of at least two different kinds of vegetables and dressing. Dressing isn't necessarily necessary, but it's not a salad unless there's at least two different vegetables if there's no dressing. Like, lettuce plus dressing does qualify as a salad. Lettuce alone, even if it's served in a salad bowl, it's literally just lettuce. It's not a salad yet.
But what if you have lettuce with salad dressing?
Yep, that's a salad. I just said that.
Oh, right. I can't quite hear you perfectly well because my game is loud.
But similarly, I would actually say that if you have a salad made entirely of two different kinds of lettuce, yeah, that probably is a salad. At the very least, it is two, separate, differently grown ingredients.
Okay, but what about if you just have a bowl that has, sliced cucumbers and, I don't know, sliced carrots? Is that a salad?
Yeah, that's a salad. Well, wait. Here's where that becomes interesting. How specifically are you eating it?
I mean, either
finger food.
Yeah, a bowl all mixed together, either eating with a fork or just reaching in and grabbing individual pieces.
In that case, I would if mixed together, yes,
yeah.
Still a salad. If you meant you had a tray with some
one of those
cucumber on one side,
trays.
sliced carrots on another side, then yeah, that's just an appetizer tray. That's just a vegetable tray.
Okay, so what if you take one of those veggie trays and you dump all that into a bowl? Does it turn into salad?
Yes. Yeah, I would say so, yes.
Okay, so what if you have, a head of lettuce, and you dip it in, some form of, a dressing, whatever, and then just eat it?
What you have is a problem.
It's so good! A head of lettuce with, some, spinach dip? Oh my gosh, it's so good!
Well, first of all, if you're literally just having a head of lettuce, there is no way you have it cleaned properly. That's the thing. To properly clean lettuce, you need to kind of disassemble it. That's what you would need to do is give it an initial rinse off, and either chop it or separate out the leaves if you want to keep it as a big old leafy lettuce. But you still want to keep washing that. You still want to rinse that again. So
no, I just throw it in the oven at 250 degrees until it burns off all the junk.
I'm sorry, did you just suggest cooking lettuce?
Or boiling it.
Okay, Claire, maybe you're not aware of this, but boiling is a form of cooking.
Either way, I mean, that would get all the gunk off, right?
I feel like Gordon Ramsay, in that one restaurant where he was shocked at someone made a grilled, Caesar salad.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Well, let's put it this way: if the chicken was grilled, yes, that'd be fine. But no, they actually put a giant piece of lettuce, one single giant piece of lettuce, mind you, on the grill and gave it grill marks. What?
You're making me hungry.
Anyways, the whole reason why I'm bringing this up, the whole discussion, because I was thinking a fruit salad. Okay, well, obviously it's not actually a salad, and that's why it has the fruit qualifier. It is fruit combined together in the format of a salad. So that's a fruit salad. And I'm just thinking, is that the standard of those sorts of things, or is that like like not the norm? Because now I'm just thinking, huh. Well, for, like my next one was like variants of pizza. Like Hawaiian pizza is still just a style of pizza. Like it is a pizza. But then I realized dessert pizza is
Oh my
not,
gosh. Okay,
is not
I've had like
pizza.
poutine pizza before, and it's like,
Oh.
yeah.
Well,
It's
and
not
the thing,
particularly good because I used low quality fries and gravy, but it's still an interesting enough
oh, they
premise
actually
that I
put
think it,
fries on it? Interesting.
yeah,
I mean, I have
fries and
heard of
gravy on pizza.
I
And
have
cheese.
heard of pizzas with potato on them, so that's not too surprising.
It's
There's
poutine pizza.
like honestly, like if it was just like the gravy and the cheese curds, you know what? That's still fine. But yeah,
Yeah,
adding a
they
bit more
used
fiber and starch with the fries, like actually including the fries, you know what? Fine.
they it tasted like they used the pre-frozen fries, but they didn't fully cook them, so they were a bit weird in
uh,
consistency. If they had used like proper fries, like fried up fries, and put, because it seems like they just put frozen fries on the pizza and cooked it with the pizza.
yeah, no, that doesn't sound appetizing.
But if they actually like cooked the fries separately and say put it on the pizza for like maybe the last minute or 2 minutes of cooking just to sink in a little, that could be so good.
But then I realized dessert pizza. Dessert pizza is not a pizza because it lacks two of. I mean, let's put it this way: at its core, a pizza is the flat dough,
No,
some type of tomato sauce, and
no,
cheese.
doesn't have to
That
be
is
tomato
a
sauce.
basic pizza. The type of cheese doesn't really matter, but it needs to. And you can substitute the sauce, but if it has neither a tomato-based sauce nor cheese nor something like a cheese substitute, like lactose-free cheese, or like even using like it'd be weird, but I could imagine having like tofu taking the role of cheese. It'd be a really weird pizza, but that would still be a pizza. Dessert pizza does not have that.
Azura,
Yes.
I will take your pizza argument and counter with none pizza with left beef.
Yeah, that's not a pizza.
I still remember after Chandra found out about that, she wanted me to order a nun pizza with left beef just for the joke of it. It's like, Chandra, I'm not spending like $10 to buying a pizza just for a nun pizza with left beef. Like, I'm going to order us each a pizza for us to actually eat. I'm not going to be spending pizza money on a joke and be like, haha, that's silly. Anyway, I want real food.
That reminds me of that clip from, I don't even know what it's from, but the kid goes up to like the pizza shop or whatever. I'd like to order a cheese pizza. No tomato sauce. And like no crust. So it's just a cheese with nothing. Literally just the cheese cooked.
Yeah, I've seen things of people ordering, yeah, I'll have a cheeseburger, but no cheese, thanks. No, not a hamburger, a cheeseburger without cheese.
You know, or even someone saying a hamburger with cheese and getting mad when they see cheeseburger. I do not understand these people who do not understand that they are literally the same thing, and the way that they are trying to order it just means they're being charged more.
When I was like 10, I didn't know like that was literally just the difference between the two. But also, I barely even had burgers at that point. Like, once I started actually, like, having burgers more than, once or twice a year, I started figuring out, oh, okay, hamburger, cheeseburger. Because I thought the difference was in the patty, that there was something, like, that they used different patties for hamburgers or cheeseburgers. But then I came to realize, no, it's because I got, like, the cheapo little hamburger, and this other person got, like, the quarter pounder, a quarter pounder cheeseburger, and that's why the patty was different. Because like I saw, you know,
Yep.
the little 70-cent hamburger that came with the kids menu versus a quarter pounder with cheese. It's like, oh, burger, cheeseburger.
You know what? Understandable. But it's grown-ass adults who don't understand it. Like, I can understand a kid not having learned the difference, but what the heck?
Well, okay, and here's the important thing. Sure, fine, if somebody doesn't have burgers that much, but just happens to not realize it, whatever, and they don't know, and then someone, like, totally possible that someone, they could be 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and just happen to not know. Whatever. And then someone tells them, it's like, oh yeah, no, hamburger with cheese, yeah, that's just a cheeseburger. The proper thing to do is go, oh, okay, then I'd like a cheeseburger, please.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
almost invariably, they get angry and about it.
Well, you say that. Almost invariably, they go, oh, okay, I'll have that then. But that doesn't make for a funny story to tell someone else. You're not going to hear a story of, oh, hey, someone told me that their uncle didn't know what a cheeseburger was, and then they corrected them and they said, okay. They're going to tell the story of, oh, yeah, my friend's uncle, blah, 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 got angry about it.
Okay, Claire, here's the thing. I have worked at McDonald's in the past.
So
I have encountered the people who didn't understand it and insisted the way that they ordered it. I have never had someone who didn't know and just accepted it when it was explained. Never.
Nice.
And I did the drive-through only, like taking orders. I didn't do anything like in the kitchen, and I barely ever like took like the front counter. So I'm only interacting with customer orders. Like
I only worked in the kitchen and I never took customer orders. And the janitorial work. I did a lot of janitorial.
So it's like, yeah, it's just. Although, interesting side bit on that is, what do you call it?
But yeah, I remember hearing about all those little, like, fast food hacks. Like, oh yeah, if you get a hamburger and ask them to add cheese, it'll be like 10 cents cheaper than just ordering a cheeseburger or whatever.
Actually, it's at least 20 cents. It was 20 cents more expensive to do that. Because the difference between a hamburger and a cheeseburger was 10 cents, but the price of adding a slice of cheese was 30 cents.
Well, at different restaurants, it's different things.
No, different restaurants. I'm just saying with how it was at McDonald's, yeah.
Yeah, specifically at McDonald's, but it might be true in, say, Burger King or Arby's or A&W or Wendy's or Disney Queen, Dairy Queen. It's some other place that might be true, and then they hear fast food ask hamburger with cheese is cheaper. But they don't think, oh, at this place. So you just do it at other places too.
I will say, there was one really stupid thing, and I don't know if it was just at the McDonald's I worked at, and I don't know if it's still true. There are certain, like, the meal items were a different item on, like, in the menu, like, for the, like, person, like, punching it in, than just ordering, like, say, the burger and then adding, like, fries and drink. Like, it actually was a separate button to press. But, here's the weird thing. There wasn't a version for the 20-piece McNugget meal. There was one for the 10-piece McNugget meal. And I learned pretty quickly that if well, first of all, what they wanted us to do, if someone ordered a 20-piece nugget meal, is just put in the 20 nuggets and the fries and the drink, and they get no meal discount. But if you actually ordered a 10-piece nugget meal and then another 10 nuggets, like have it split into 2 items, it actually is cheaper. But that might have just been because of how it was, like, programmed into the POS. and I'd be surprised if that hasn't changed by now.
Oh, okay. I still remember working in the kitchen, and like everyone else working in there had a headset on, so they could hear like the orders coming through the drive-thru, so they could start making it as soon as the customer asks for it. I was the only one who didn't have that, so like I'd be there, whatever, and then suddenly people start, prepping on a burger and whatnot. I'm like, what? And I have to look up at the screen, and then the thing comes on. It's like, oh, well, I guess I'll do the nuggets then. Just like everyone springs to action. I'm like, what? Look up at it. Oh, okay. Gosh, I still remember working that kitchen. It was a disaster. First day there, I had like no training on how to make any of the foods. So I'm just like, okay. There's like 7 people in the kitchen, and I'm just, okay, what do I do? Day 2, I get taught how to like wash the trays. And no, I think day 1 I get taught how to wash the trays. Day 2, I see there's like 7 people in the kitchen again, and a stack of like maybe 40 plus trays that need to be washed. So I'm like, okay, I'll wash trays. I'm taking initiative. These need to be washed. I'll wash them. Let's turn down the game just a little bit, actually. I'll wash these trays. And then manager comes in, scolds me for washing the trays, puts me back into the kitchen, takes someone else out of the kitchen to wash the trays instead. Why? I don't know. I was washing the trays and doing, I think, a fine job of it. But no, they want me in the kitchen instead. It's like, I don't know how to work the kitchen. By the time I was in there, I don't know. By the end of my first month, I was working that kitchen by myself.
That reminds me of the first job that I had. I was working at an Indigo. It was just a seasonal job, but so like just for the Christmas season. And I was basically, the way that their schedules are set up is like on the schedule it even tells you like what particular part of the place that you're working, like what section you'll be in, like to put books away and like organize things, yada yada, and just basically mill about. And I was like 2 months into my time there, or 1.5 to 2 months, and I still hadn't been trained on cash register. And I saw that, there was an upcoming shift, like the schedule was put out, and I was put as the only person on cash register. And remember, this is literally my first job. I have never worked a cash register. And so I just mentioned, like, to the manager, oh, so when am I getting trained for this? It's like, you haven't been trained on this yet? Oh. And then they changed the schedule so I wasn't on that. And I'm stupidly enough, like when they decided to not keep me on, and I think it was like only one of 2 people that weren't kept on after the season. The reason that they gave me was because I was never trained on cash register. It was your fault for not training me.
Yeah.
Although, and I think it was my next job after that I worked at the Galaxyland in Edmonton, in West Edmonton Mall. Like operating rides. And eventually, like, I got, moved, because after I was trained in, like, most of the rides, like, I think by the time I left, I think there were maybe, like, 6 rides I had never been trained on. Namely, like, the big roller coaster and the Drop of Doom thing. So, basically, the biggest rides I had not gotten trained on. But yeah, basically, once I was trained on enough things, instead of giving me regular shifts from then on, like where you work one ride or one station, whatever, there were times when I was actually set to cover, like, be doing 3 rides at once. I do not understand why they thought that was a good idea, have one person operate 3 separate rides.
Well, that way they only have to pay 1 person instead of paying 3 people.
Yeah. But it also means that, I have to do one ride once, run to the to the second one, run it once, run to the third one, run it once, and just kind of basically just keep running back and forth. And there was always lines at all three, and people were very annoyed. They're like, they think, oh, I'm at the front of the line, I'm going on next. No, you're waiting for those other two rides to be run once before you get your turn here.
But they only had to pay one person instead of 3.
Yep.
That's all they really care about, isn't it? Like,
customer satisfaction suffered. But what was funny is that on one of these shifts, I was set to cover... Yeah, eventually I was set to only cover breaks, which ultimately meant by the end, I was getting scheduled one shift every other Saturday, scheduled from noon until 7 p.m., but I would more often than not be sent home around 4 or 5, after all the breaks had been covered. But the stupid thing was, one particular day, one break that I was covering was supposed to be, like, for the 3 kid rides. Except, like, I had to tell them, I've never been trained on one of these 3. I was trained on 2 of them, but not the third one. And the really unfortunate part is that these 3, 2 of them shared, like, an operator booth, and the third one was kind of like, you had to, like, leave the whole area and just kind of step over here and, like, basically wade through the people in line to get to the operator station. Unfortunately, if it was that one that I hadn't been trained on, you know, we probably would have just left that one without an operator for that person's break. But no, the one I hadn't been trained on was one of the 2 that shared a booth. And that messed things up, because apparently no one, like the person who was, like, scheduling for that shift, hadn't noticed that.
Yeah, being a manager, like, I don't know if having a low IQ is a requirement for being a manager, or if you just, you know, lose 50 IQ once you get promoted or something. It seems like only, like, the least qualified of people become managers. The laziest of sorts, the most talking behind your backs of sorts, the most, oh, anything that I do wrong is actually your fault of sorts.
Another weird thing about how they operated was, basically at this, because basically they would have, like, several people starting a shift at the same time. Like, very rare you would ever have someone starting at a different time than, you know, than other people. So they would have a manager, like, in the locker room, take attendance, which is interesting.
In the locker room.
Yeah. Well, because that's where unfortunately, we didn't really have a break room. So we just had the locker room to put our stuff in lockers for our shift, and that was it. Here's a stupid thing that happened once. I had a shift starting, like, basically first thing in the morning, one day. And, like, it was basically to the point where there was no way I'd be able to make it there on time on my own, like, by taking the bus. So my mom gave me a ride, on her way to work, so she would drop me off, and then she went to work. And I ended up basically, I was there, like, an hour before, like, the place opened. Like, I was there an hour early more than an hour early for my shift. And it just so happened, that particular day, the manager person, whatever, who was taking the attendance, I had never seen them before.
But just to interrupt for a moment, because I am doing a recording right now. It's just, I've been fighting through boss fights and stuff, and it's just, why are you interfering? And then 2 options pop up at the bottom. Gunpowder, tea leaves. Sorry, please continue.
This particular manager, or, like, whatever role you were supposed to have to be able to be in this role. Never seen them before. and they mispronounced my name. Now, and once they got through the list and my name hadn't been called, I went up to them to say, hey, you didn't call my name. However, before I had the opportunity to do so, they radioed to the office to say, call these people by the employee ID numbers, because they weren't there for attendance. And I go up to them and tell, hey, I'm here, you didn't call my name, because he had mispronounced my name. And I get home, and remember, my mom dropped me off at work. So at the end of the day, I can take the bus home because the buses are actually running at that time. And my mom has to confront me because a message had been left on our answering machine. Yes, it was that long ago that we had an answering machine. Basically wondering, where were you? Because she dropped me off an hour beforehand, and apparently I wasn't there for attendance. And that was annoying as... I mean, it was at that point I was I kind of had lost all faith in the way that place was being run. And again, one shift every other weekend. Here's the thing. The actual office for there was on the opposite side of the park as the locker room. And the schedule was made basically only up to 3 days in advance. It would be 1 week in advance, but it was posted the Friday to start the following Monday. It's posted in the locker room. But for some reason they apparently don't keep a copy in the office. So that means that you can't just call in on the weekend before if, for example, you don't work that weekend, to find out if you're going to work on Monday. You either have to come in physically or wait until Monday and hope you're not on the opening shift, because you'd have no way of knowing otherwise.
Yeah, job sites are... Also, this is kind of the final boss fight of this game.
You want me to stop giving stories?
Just for a few minutes, please, thanks.
Okay.
And in fact, let's crank
so
the
at my
tunes.
third job... Okay. No, go on.
There's special battle music and everything. Am I still streaming? Come and watch.
Oh,
all of the companions we've gained over the course of the game are coming in to help us fight against, not God. This is the creature that kills gods.
I thought that was you.
This creature kills gods and all of humanity, because we are overpopulating the planet. And so now we're using everything we've gathered to fight against this boss, who only really has 1.6 million health. Which is kind of insultingly low, considering the last fight we just did before this one fought against 2 enemies that each had over 2 million health.
Bold of you to assume that this boss doesn't have a second form.
I mean, I think this is the third... This is the third form so far. Or at least the third fight in sequence. The third phase. But it also does feel very, finale, considering, like I said, all of our friends are coming to help us.
God, I so much want to tell us, like start a conversation now. Because I have stuff that's relevant that won't be relevant once this fight is over.
Why? What? More?
No. Have you ever played Crisis Core?
No, I haven't played Crisis Core.
Oh. Have you seen any gameplay of Crisis Core?
I've literally never heard of it.
Like Crisis Core, part of the Final Fantasy VII series?
No.
It's the prequel.
Again, never heard of it until you just brought it up.
Okay. Well, simply put, like, it does have, like, story, but most of everything is done by missions.
Oh, like Crosshaven. Why can't you ever have such stories when we're doing runes?
Well, because it's not relevant during Rune Factory. Nothing happens in Rune Factory. But it's relevant to this. Because, yeah, there's, like, the regular, like, there's the plot stuff, the plot, and... Yep, another boss fight.
Oh, yeah, look.
Told ya.
Wait, I'm sorry, is that 10 million health? For the body, and like... Okay, 361,000 for the arms. The main body... 1 million, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6...
Uh-oh.
I was trying to keep track of... Trying to count the health. This has a less health!
Looks like it's shoulder, and boobs. But, like, there's basically, like, it's by mission, and eventually, like, you reach the end of the game, but there's still more missions, mostly post-game. So I think, technically speaking, you can access, like, all of the missions before doing the one that's, like, the end of the plot. And if you just keep, like, doing them, like, you're just like, okay, yep, all good, blah, blah, blah. And then you hit the final mission, without much fanfare, you know, the secret boss. And no matter what, you are completely unprepared for that fight. And of course, like, you also want to beat it, like, on the highest difficulty as well. Like, you can always redo basically every mission. But my god, like, the highest difficulty version of that fight is like, oh.
It's always really nice when a game has like a secret final boss fight against like your in-game like best friend or whatever. When someone who's like been with you and been friendly with you, whatever. The best friend,
that's the actual final boss.
Chocolate
companion.
No,
I think that's the actual regular final boss.
No, it's better when it's like not the final boss, but like the extra final boss afterwards. The final boss, big villain, blah blah blah. Then afterwards, it's like, hey, like, you know, only one of us can really be the hero. And frankly, I did most of the work.
Oh, wait a
Why should
minute.
you get all the glory?
Isn't that basically how Double Dragon goes if you do 2-player?
I've never beaten that game! I want to.
But,
I have that game for NES. Or Double Dragon 2, at least.
God, there was another thing that came to my mind other than Double Dragon when you were saying that there. But, the thing about, like, the issue I mainly have with, like, secret bosses is that ultimately you pretty much always, you know, fight them in one of two ways. Well, rather, you encounter them in one of two ways. Either by complete surprise, or it's been spoiled for you. There's almost never, like, an optional boss fight that is like supposed to be like a secret boss sort of thing that you would just encounter in normal gameplay. And I kind of really don't like that.
I'm trying to think of secret bosses of games and stuff. No, let's see. Rune Factory, technically the secret final boss is just the final boss again. Oh my gosh. Hi!
Hi.
Oh, it's still in hyperspeed mode!
But,
I should probably increase my defense, huh?
But, one version of that comes to mind for me, and it's not even really it's not even like the secret boss, but it is definitely a secret boss fight. In fact, it's several secret boss fights in the Mega Man Battle Network games.
Never played.
Basically, here's generally how it works. Like for any of the bosses that are just like the other net navies or whatever, like they always. What happens is you fight them like during the plot, and basically that rewards you with like version 1 of their card. After beating them in the plot, a version 2 better version of them appears somewhere. However, it is a static location. You just need to walk along the path and walk into the fight loading zone. The first time that happens, it can be quite the surprise. As I'm sure you can imagine. However, it always is like a static location, so it's like if you've saved recently, you can know exactly where that fight is, and you can choose to come back to it when you think you're ready for it. You might get surprised the first time, but at least, it's something you can deal with. However, once you beat that and get the version 2 card chip, whatever of them, in a different area, version 3 can now be a random battle. Meaning you cannot take any control of it happening, and it will always be a surprise when it happens.
Oh, I got it! Mewtwo in Gen 1 Pokemon.
Fair. That would qualify as like the secret, post-game boss. However, I would say probably other than like the first few to, go explore. Remember that the cave exists and go exploring it after beating the Elite Four.
Oh, I knew about that cave, certainly. So I had spent quite a bit of time trying to get into that cave while it was still blocked off by that guy with the afro.
Yes, but then there would be players like you who would, naturally, keep trying to check in on that spot and eventually find that it's open after beating the Elite Four. However, most kids that I knew basically learned about it because someone else, one of their peers, or just someone else that, who didn't go to the same school or whatever, already discovered that and spoiled it.
Well, here's the thing. Anything can be spoiled if someone tells you about it. Like, if you're going to, like...
Yes, but what I'm saying is that the vast majority of players knew about it before, like, actually unlocking it. That's what I'm saying.
It is... Well, from what I heard, which is probably not what you were meaning, but from what I heard, you said that it's either A, so incredibly convoluted to find that no one would ever be able to find it on their own without prior knowledge, or, yeah, that was it. That no one would ever be able
Or
to know
that
that
it
it is
got
happening
spoiled for
and then
them.
find it.
Or that it got spoiled for them.
That's the with prior knowledge thing. It getting
Yeah.
spoiled for you is how you have the knowledge to go in for the thing.
Yeah,
You're not going to know that the boss fight is happening until it happens, or someone has already told you about it.
Yes.
Because although I have played a few, not a lot, a few games that have, like, in town number 1, there's some, like, NPC just standing in place. Then when you talk to them, say, like, it's like, I will test your mettle, come to me when you are worthy. And throughout the entire game, that's all they say, that's all they say, that's all they say. And then after you beat the final boss, you go to talk to them, and they say, like, do you think you are worthy? Yes, no. And if you say yes, you fight them.
What game is this? Because most games that I can think of that have that sort of thing, when you go and talk to them when you are ready, it just immediately starts the fight. Or you don't get any sort of option, like you just get a little bit of dialogue and then it starts.
I remember playing games like that. I don't have a memorized list of every single game I have ever played in my entire life. But I remember playing a game like that.
Actually, now that I think about it, there is a game that I can think of that basically works that way. Although without the requiring a certain amount of progress, technically you can do the fight as early as you want. You just won't be able to win if you do it as early as you have the option to. Paper Mario! The dojo.
Oh, the dojo. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm like, you can't go fight Final Bowser before...
No, secret boss. And it's just like, well, here's... Although, thinking about, like, secret optional bosses. Kent C. Koopa is, like, certainly not as difficult as the Master, like, version 3. But he is certainly difficult if you are unprepared. And the thing is, even what little you're informed of him being there, doesn't prepare you for the fight at all. Because if you go into it unprepared, like, you're in for a bad time. I mean, like, the first time through. And but the thing is, like, he's just waiting in, like, the first chapter 1 area. An area you have no reason to ever go back to, mind you. Because by that point, you could just take the sewers to, like, do your skip to, like, the Koopa Village, which is about the only thing left in chapter 1 you'd want to go back for by that point. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's obscure, but I certainly didn't know that he existed my first couple of times playing through the game. And maybe there's, like, one NPC that mentions him beforehand. Or not. I honestly don't remember. But it's just like, what the heck? Who's this guy? He wants me to pay him money to walk through this path? No, I'll just fight you instead. Yeah, nope. At the very, like, at least the anti-guy in Shy Guy's Toy Box, like, he stands out by, you know, you have to walk past him the first time you go through, and if you say you're going to challenge him to a fight, it's one of those, Like, you have to say, yes, I want to fight you, like, 2 or 3 times in a row.
Does
Huh?
the Yggdrasil from Crystal Project count? Or the Deep one? Both of those are post-game boss fights, so you basically have to go through an entire dungeon or a series of quests, whatever, to fight against. Those two should both individually count as post-game fights that, going up to it, you know that you're going to be facing a tough boss battle, and that people can absolutely happen to find without being told ahead of time, hey, if you go to that giant thing in the middle of the ocean and climb up it, there's a boss fight.
I mean, based on what from what I've seen when you played that game and when I helped you through it, I mean, to be fair, most fights were boss fights.
No, grand majority of the fights are just against random enemies.
No, I know, but it's just like...
Yeah, there are a lot of boss fights.
Yeah, there's a lot of boss fights, and you actively avoided the non-boss fights.
After
because
a point,
they were a waste of your time.
After a point, yes, I avoided the non-boss fights, because I already had all the money I needed, all my characters were max level. And after some point of grinding for a lot of time, I didn't need any more XP or job experience. So I didn't need to do normal
fights. Yes, so you can understand why I'm saying everything that I watched you do was only boss fights. Because it was.
Well, how about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Unless you consider that fight to actually be the end game and not post-game stuff, which people seem to be rather iffy about what that qualifies as.
Which fight?
The fight against the guy's parent at the center of the island.
That is the final boss fight, yes. That is not post-game. That is what the entire plot has been leading to. The post-game would be like the little tournament thing that happens like in the schoolyard afterwards.
But you have to sign up for it, but it's by no means a boss fight.
Yeah, well, technically one of them can't. The final one, I assume, is. Because I assume the last fight when you do that is going to be one of, like, the major characters.
I thought they were all, like, important characters. And that was the point of that. Oh. It's all against, like, important characters that you know. Like, you fight against Penny, you fight against the guy with the dog, you fight against the rival person. It's about I only remember one of the characters.
I mean, honestly, it's not too bad considering, I mean, Penny, we remember her because of Eevee's and that backpack. Yeah. And the guy with the dog, you know what? Fair enough. And then the rival.
I feel like even while I was playing, I actively made a choice to not remember his name.
And then the rival was just, literally just the rival.
Something Monia? Demonia? Something?
Wasn't that, like, the actual champion? I
feel like that was someone.
I just don't remember.
Was the champion that tomboy that apparently a lot of Japanese women have a crush on?
Well, this is news to me, so I don't
Wait, you didn't hear about that?
No.
Sometime, what was that, 2 years ago? A poll was circulated around Japan asking the women what, like, you know, anime, cartoon, whatever, characters that they have a crush on. And overwhelmingly, the one that they submitted was one of the women from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And it included such comments as, Well, I had a crush on her, but when I found out that she was a woman, I got a bigger crush on her. And the purpose of the poll was to find out what men characters that the women liked. And they still overwhelmingly voted for a woman.
The problem is, like, the way you describe that, the problem is that could describe any number of characters from that game. I mean, that
She was
could
either the
potentially
champion or
describe
one
any-
of the Elite Four.
That could potentially... Oh! Then I know what character you're talking about now. The green-haired girl with suspenders. The one who does the interview before you do the Elite Four fights?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's not the rival.
I know she's not the rival. Is she the champion?
No.
I'm pretty sure the rival isn't the champion, right?
Correct. It's also not... Yeah, the rival and the champion and the woman in the suspenders are not the same person. None of
Who
them
the
are
heck is the champion?
She's like the black woman with the long hair who has her ace is a Pokemon that you can't actually see in the wild until after you've beaten like all three of the like story paths. The thing that kind of just looks like a weird blue plant. A weird blue alien plant.
Regardless, let's see. Other games. Dark Cloud, the 100th floor dungeon post-game. Surely you know there's going to be a boss fight at the end of the 100th floor dungeon. Dark Chronicle, another post-game dungeon. That certainly you know there's going to be a boss fight at the end. You don't know against whom until you do it.
Or how about the 100th floor, like the Pit of Trials in Paper Mario games after the original?
Yeah, yep. Post-game dungeons are cool. I still can't believe I actually did, like, the entire 100th floor dungeon. I just uploaded 10 videos in a row of just me basically running through the dungeon.
I just want to... Well, unfortunately you can't really do that in the Pit of 100 Trials. Because,
I mean, no. No saving the game in between.
yes.
You're not allowed to save the game unless you leave.
Yes. That's the same in the Paper Mario games as well. Because there are no save points.
But the Pit of 100 Trials doesn't take 10 hours.
No. But it is worth noting it's supposed to be mostly post-game content. Well... At the very least, going past the 50th floor is supposed to be post-game content. But, I mean, let's just put it this way, like, there's specific, like, I think, speedrun categories to defeat it while still in the prologue.
Yeah, I know. I've seen people do that, yes.
It's just like, oh my god. Like, there's only so much you have access to at that point. You don't even have access to the badge shop. Or wait, I don't know if it's necessarily during the prologue, but at the very least, before fighting the Chapter 1 boss.
Yeah. Might be able to do it in prologue. They call it prologue.
Well, they specifically say pre-Hooktail Pit, with Hooktail being the Chapter 1 boss. Because I think there's a couple of things you need to do to be able to get access to it. Yes, you need to at least get partway through Chapter 1 to get the ability to kind of like flip sideways so you can sneak through like prison bars. to access the way to like use the airplane mode to get over to the lower entrance to the pit.
You know what I really want to see in a game?
What?
I want a game, something like the Dragon Age games, where you can befriend like a large group of people and have them like fighting alongside you. But then for the final boss fight, and I don't know if the Dragon Age does this, because I've never beaten a Dragon Age game, but for like the final boss fight, every single companion that you have gotten up to that point fights alongside you. Screw the artificial party limit. If you've recruited 30 people, all of them fight alongside you for the final fight. And it's a test not of how much that you've, like, grown and leveled and gotten skills, but also a test of sheer friendship.
Well, I will say, like, in Dragon Age Origins, I mean, no, that doesn't happen quite. I mean, the whole game is technically building up allies for the final fight, but they're kind of more like on the fringes of the battle that you see. Like they're technically there. It's kind of just like, okay, you've built up an army, but you're not literally going to see the entire army.
You know, I want something.
And
say, Astlibra here, all of your friends can help you fight, but basically no matter what choices you make during the story, you're always going to have these same friends. You couldn't, like, make certain choices and have more or less of them.
Not necessarily true, because there is at least one companion in Dragon Age Origins, because that's the only one I've played.
I say in this specific game, the number of companions you have is the exact same amount.
Oh, in this game, in Astlibra.
In Astlibra specifically, the amount of companions you have is always the same.
I thought we were still talking generically, or about Dragon Age.
But yeah, but I know in Dragon Age, depending on your actions, you could have more or less companions. But I have played quite a few hours of one of the Dragon Age games. I forget which one it was.
Yeah, because I know you can. There's at least one that I believe was originally DLC, but the version that I got like included all the DLC, so I'm not 100% certain on that. And I'm pretty sure at least one other one you can. I mean, they literally meet you the first time trying to kill you, like Goku.
Hello, we are recording.
Hello.
Ah, gotcha. Have fun.
She's fighting the final boss.
Oh, good luck. Give it hell.
We're currently in space, so I don't know how viable that is. And this is a being from the center of the planet, so...
From the fifth dimension. Anyways, have fun. I'll catch you later.
Yeah.
Catch you later.
Right, yes, Dragon Age. Because I remember that there was, like, one... Like, there was a guy trapped in a cage, and if you do, like, the right choices, you could, like, recruit him to go with you. But I already had a full party. So I basically just like, hey, come be free with us at our camp, and then never do anything else. You just stay in camp.
Oh, right, you know what? It just occurred to me. There is another potentially missable party member that I can think of. The dog.
Right, because you have to do certain steps to get the dog, don't you?
Well, you have to get the medicine to heal the dog during the prologue.
During the prologue? We might be talking about different Dragon Ages.
I mean, all I have to say is, if we're talking about different Dragon Age games, then, no, I guess you're right, it isn't technically the prologue, because the prologue is just the origin story of how you, like, join, like, the Grey Wardens.
Yeah,
so
mine was the mage with, like, the blood mage and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, that it was Dragon Age Origins. So, but you know what I mean, like in the Grey Warden camp.
Yeah. You have to, like, get the medicine to kill.
Yeah.
But see, that's
I would
something that I
call it
found
that,
really
but-
interesting in Dragon Age, because it seemed like everyone who winds up being a companion could potentially have not been a companion.
Mm-hmm.
You get the one guy automatically, but if you make certain choices, he leaves. Like, you could theoretically just not have companions, but you could theoretically get every companion.
Like, let me think. So, the guy who tries to kill you, I'm pretty sure you can just kill him. The dog, you can just not rescue. That guy that you're talking about, you can make
Become
the
a
choice.
blood mage.
Huh?
I think if you do, like, too much, like, blood magic stuff, he leaves or something.
Oh, no, it's specifically like political decision you make very near the end of the game. If you haven't, well, the game calls it pardoning your companion. But basically, if you don't make him loyal, and you make a particular choice for political reasons, yeah, he'll just leave and protest. The witch, technically, if I recall correctly, I believe she just doesn't appear for the final battle. If you choose to take up her offer of having her have your baby. Yeah, it's weird, but let's see here. And you're right, like, I think, is his name Sten? I think it's Sten. The guy with the horns, who I'm pretty sure is the one you're talking about in the cage. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you can just, like, potentially...
If you don't wind up rescuing him.
And then that just leaves the cleric woman. I don't remember if you can, like, just not take her.
But, yeah. A game like that where, like, every single companion is technically optional, but then you actually get to use all of your companions, would be so great. In fact, I think I know exactly one game like that. In fact, I think I have one game like that. In fact, I think I've done at least one episode of a game like that.
You know what? Come to think of it, I actually can think of a game like that. As well. The World Ends With You.
It better not be you sending me stuff knowing that I'm mid-recording.
Huh?
I got a Discord notification sound. Okay, it wasn't a direct message. So it wasn't you sending me stuff. I just heard a ping.
Yeah, you should probably maybe just turn off Discord notification sounds in general then. But obviously not at this exact moment. Eat your pineapple. But, because in the final boss fight, because the game is basically split up into 3 weeks. Like, have you played The World Ends With You?
No.
Oh. Do you have any
Pretty sure we
intention
talked
to?
about it before, and I told you the same thing.
Do you have any intention to?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. Although you're in a final boss fight, it would be weird for me to say spoilers and then check back later. So I'm not going to do that while you're in a boss fight. But yeah, basically it is a good example of that. Admittedly, it's a lot easier when you only basically make 3 friends.
Yeah, this is a game that I have on Steam. It seems to be almost like a cycle from games. Because, like, the first one was, my eldest sister left the computer and I got on and found myself coordinating a raid in an in a game, and I don't play MMOs. I'm sure you're familiar with it.
You've told me about it, yes.
We have to coordinate 100 people at once.
Yes, you've told me about it, yes.
And then there might be 99 of us, but we only have 99 turns. Which is actually a really fun game, and I think that you might enjoy because it's almost kind of puzzle-ish. You have 99 characters, and you have to fight through a series of boss fights. And the better you do, aka the faster you beat the bosses, the more, like, stuff you get for winning, that you then put onto all 99 of your characters to get them ready for the next boss fight. Where the goal is to beat that one as fast as possible, and if any boss fight takes you 99 turns, you lose the entire game, and have to go back to your last save.
Oh, so it's 99 turns, like, per boss fight.
Yes. Specifically, 99 boss turns, but if the boss is like 3 characters, it's 99 in total. So each one of them would take 33 turns, and then you'd lose.
Oof. Where are we paused?
Because my earbud is dying, I don't want to hear battery low every 20 seconds.
You really need to remember to charge your earbuds before starting recording.
Okay, they were fully charged when I put them in to my ears. Or at least they were supposed to have been. And that was not too long before I started recording, an hour and a half ago. Just about.
Seems like the batteries on those things are, like, wearing out.
Because they were $30 earbuds I bought like 4 years ago. Yes, I know, they're pieces of junk and I should throw them out the door. I'm very much aware with how much you hate my earbuds. Eek.
So you'd said that all your friends were jumping in on this fight. Are they on this phase as well, or was it only the previous phase?
I think it was only the previous phase. They could be really helpful here. But I have a strategy. So, you see, item use takes a set amount of time in order to fully use the item. If you get interrupted, like, by taking damage before the item use is completed, the use is cancelled. And you don't get the any, say, healing that you wanted to get. However, certain very specific summons actually transform your character while it does an animation. While it has control over your character, you can't move yourself, but also you can't take damage for a set amount of time. And this summon specifically does a fair amount of damage to the boss, and lasts for long enough to eat a food.
Ah.
And with the summon that gives you extra movement speed, you can build up your attack bar, your stamina bar, so you can get ready to use the summon mere seconds after you've used the summon, so you can just chain it back to back to back. If you ever need to heal, you can just keep using the summon over and over again while you heal on each individual use.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, very much so, yes.
I really hope that dragon is on your side.
Yeah, that's one of my summons.
Okay.
You can
That
see
would
my
be
summons at the
terrifying.
bottom before I use them. And if I hold Y, you can...
Okay.
Does the game setting to make the game not pause when you're holding up that menu? Boom! 3 3-star achievement. There's room for a 4th star. I'm scared. Oh.
Okay, I was worried the game crashed there.
No, it was turning up the volume. Well, this has been Astlibra. It's only been about, what, 40 plus episodes? I forget how many.
Been a few months at least.
Well, 60 hours of playtime. He's dead. That's actually kind of sad. Huh? All the other worlds can now safely come back down if only they knew it was safe. But they're probably all going to stay up, separated, isolated. Are we the people going to re-explore the world as it is now? Yeah, that's right. I killed Gaius. And with that, we returned to Elysium, or rather to Vispadar, our home. The people in town were peacefully going about their daily lives as if nothing had happened. No one realized that all humankind had been on the brink of extinction. It was all for the best. Life was secretly protected and nothing had happened. Wonder if there could be anything happier. We were truly able to protect them this time. Those we care about in this ordinary life. Day's finally come. I've been preparing for this day. Oh! Oh! Whole world is going to pitch together to...
So is this actually going to be post-game content, or is this...
There is a DLC.
Ah, do you have the DLC?
Yeah, I got it because it was on sale.
Oh, well then.
But it seems like the DLC follows like a totally different person's story.
Oh.
Well, that's right. If the world is floating, the air would be thin up here, but people would be used to that. What are the possible ramifications of someone who's used to living in high altitude suddenly going to low altitude?
Hmm. More oxygen to the brain.
Oh, the baker's daughter! We don't actually get to talk to her or anything. She's just outside. Yeah! Awesome.
It's locked.
Oh, come on, guard man. I thought we were...
How about a book?
Oh, we can't sneak back into the castle. This already land, right? I'm not allowed to pause. This wasn't here. No. I feel like this might be the only playable epilogue we get. Why is it so foggy in here? Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh, secret extra final boss? I mean, I imagine that dreaming is how you get to fight the Dream Fiend. Setting off. Your adventure starts now.
Now it's over.
So this is only like the 5th end of game that we've seen so far.
Wait, really?
Yeah, but see those credits roll. Have you? Yeah. Oh. Okay, quick, spot the protagonist.
Which one?
Well, which one do you think is the protagonist?
Is it the one who's looking at the camera? Is it the one with the green hair? Is it the one with the red hair? Or the one with the hat?
No, it's the teacher.
Oh, because he's smoking. Okay. Oh, no, right. The protagonist hasn't entered yet.
Oh, is it Kai? He's a hard-nosed robot that's lived for around 2,000 years.
Thank you so much for playing my game.
Increasing your
Oh.
relationship with the newest will lead the way to a new ending.
Oh. So what you're saying is we're going to see another boss fight eventually, when you go and increase your relationship with Anulis.
Do I have to find more love to give to her? Where do I find more? Okay, well, I know one place. The one that came from outside, yeah. Oh, what? Hard compensation would be unfathomable. You have borne the entire cost. Oh!
Well then, clearly what you need to do now is get more love for her.
I need to keep playing. I need to keep playing. I need to keep playing.
Yes.
I need to keep playing.
Yes, but maybe not right now. Next time.
But Sarah, you don't understand. I need to keep playing.